So you're researching places that you'd like to live in the Northwest, and you're thinking about Washington State. And what comes up on most people's minds when they think about Washington State is what?
It's Seattle.
It's Seattle. And I mean, for a couple reasons, sports teams, perhaps. Not that they're good ones that make the playoffs. That's just between me as a lifelong Mariners fan, whatever. Another form of bitterness that I'm currently in therapy on. So let's roll back. I think it'll be great. But you think to yourself, well, is there anything else in Washington that maybe, like, I don't know, hidden gem perhaps?
Yeah.
Something that not everybody's thinking about, but they should be considering. Well,
so the South Puget Sound area of Washington is an area that we think is entirely underrated.
Completely underrated.
Exactly. And it's only about an hour or so south of Seattle, but it has a completely different feel than Seattle does.
Yeah. Better vibe, better pace of life, more affordability, and a lot of other specific details that make it a wonderful place that we thoroughly enjoy living in. So we're going to share some of those secrets about what is it like to live in South Puget Sound and why is it so compelling?
So in this video, we're going to share what's so great about this area, why it might be a really great fit for you, and what to expect if you do decide to move here.
We are Joe and Charity. We're local realtors and we help people just like you every week who are deciding to make the Northwest their home.
So let's jump in and talk about all the fantastic things about the South Puget Sound area. And first of all, I want to give you a little bit of an introduction on what really is the South Puget Sound area.
Yeah, what do we mean by that?
Yeah, so if you take a look on this map, you're going to see that it's pretty much everything Tacoma down to Olympia area, anything that wraps around the water that's below Seattle.
It's a general area on a map that you could take a red marking pen and circle.
That's right.
Yes.
Right there.
Do it.
That's what we're talking about.
That's what we're talking about right there. So now that you know kind of where it's at on a map, which is helpful, why in the world would anybody want to live there? So the number one reason why people love living here is the natural beauty, because it is straightway gorgeous. Currently, we are right now in downtown Olympia area, right by the lake. And if you look back up over here through the sun, you're going to see the state capitol. So there is so much natural beauty out here for sure.
So you've got lakes, you've got rivers, you've got forests, you've got the Puget Sound, you've got the ocean. There is pretty much nothing that, I mean, we don't have desert, but besides that, we have everything. It's so incredibly beautiful. I know that when we help people move here, one of the things that's really important usually to them is that they get a house that's surrounded by trees because they want to feel like they are in the Pacific Northwest. They want that feel, and it's really easy to find a house with a lot of trees around it. Just telling you.
As a matter of fact, I'm going to say it's probably harder to find a house without trees around it than it is to find one with trees around it. Yeah. So if the outdoor natural beauty is a big rock to you, that's something probably you're going to really enjoy by moving here.
So we've lived in Washington for most of our lives, but for a little short jaunt, we lived down in Texas. And as we were traveling through the country, it was our first time. And I thought to myself, oh my God, the rest of the country does not look anything like Washington. Of course, I knew that, but I had never experienced it. And when we got down there, Austin was beautiful, but in a different way. And we really, really missed the Pacific Northwest. And the primary reason why we came back is because we missed the beauty of it.
Yeah, personally, we missed the mountains. We missed the Puget Sound. We missed the water, all the things that go along with it. But to wake up daily, kind of go for a drive in your car, whether it's to the office or wherever you might be working from, and just be surrounded by so much beauty, it's inspiring. It kind of feeds the soul. It refreshes you. It does for us for sure. If that's something that's important to you, then you gotta absolutely love this because it has so much just natural beauty surrounding you.
Yeah, exactly. And that actually leads us into the number two reason why we feel like this is such an underrated area and why people really love living here. And that is the recreational opportunities that go along with everything that is in the outdoors.
Yeah. One of the activities I really enjoy doing in the Northwest is fishing, and specifically salmon fishing. Whether you have a boat or go on a charter or off the shoreline, salmon fishing is available to you, and it's so much fun. This last fall was just one of the trips that I'd gone on. We went on a boat out of Bremerton with a captain who was so much fun. I'm not sure how you could laugh for 8 hours on a boat, but between the 5 of us, we absolutely laughed about 8 hours on a boat. Had such a good time, caught a ton of fish, and just enjoyed the beauty of being out on the water. Now, there's also, I can tell you, dozens of stories of fishing in rivers. I can tell you about catching a 40-pound salmon, which I caught with my bare hands as I dove into the water. That's not true. I didn't do that. I did catch it on a rod and reel and eventually put it on my smoker, and it was delightful. Oh, but as with any good fisherman, there's going to be a little bit of tails in all of it. So just being honest. However, it was 40 pounds.
I did see it. It was a big one.
It was. That's one of the things that I love to do here, but there's so many other activities to do.
One of the things we also love to do is to get out on the water and go kayaking and paddleboarding. You can see as you take a look at a map, there are so many access points to the water, specifically in the South Puget Sound area. We've lived so many places up and down Puget Sound, all the way up from Canada almost, all the way down to here basically. And this area in particular is different because most of them have just one shoreline. But Olympia has all these fingers basically of water that come in and out. There's so many points and inlets. And so there is so much opportunity. And, you know, we're talking about the greater Puget Sound area, so the Tacoma area as well. There's just a really great area to get on the water. And so it's actually really perfect for paddleboarding and kayaking because the water is so peaceful. If you think about being out on the open ocean where there's waves, that's really not what you're experiencing here in Puget Sound. It's completely calm because it's all protected water. So unless it's a really windy day, you can get out on your paddleboard and your kayak. And besides that, you can do it on lakes as well.
Yeah. There's a lot of people that do a little scuba diving in the middle of that as well because they love the water. However, I don't like going scuba diving primarily because I've never done it and I'm afraid of being eaten by big fish. And there are orcas, not that they actually eat humans, but I might be the exception because I'm so delightful. Probably not.
Yeah, so there's above water activities, below water activities. I mean, we've talked about boating and kayaking and paddleboarding, but some people just get a boat just to go boating or water skiing. So unending opportunities for water, of course.
Yeah. And then, of course, you're going to have the hiking. Now, there are so many trails that we've been on. One of the things that when we talk about hiking, it reminds me of Jim Gaffigan and one of his comedy specials talking about the Northwest, and people are pretty much just always ready to break out for a hike. And I got to tell you, there's some truth in that. And when you're going on a hike, just prepared to go twice as far as you think you're going to.
Yeah.
This is a standard thing journey I do on a trip is we'll go out on a 4-mile hike and end up back in the car later in the day and realize, oh my gosh, that was 10 hours. I'm struggling with hunger. I'm about ready to pass out. I had the time of my life. And next time we'll be more prepared. And then we do it again, even with more preparation. It's just one of those things because of the allure of the natural beauty. You just get caught up in it and you just get totally refreshed in it. So if that's something that's important to you, well, then you're going to love it here for sure.
Yeah, and besides that, you've got everything about the mountains in the winter time. So if you want to do some skiing, you have so many options just from the South Puget Sound area. Within 2 hours, you've got Crystal Mountain, you've got Snoqualmie Pass, you've got White Pass, and then if you want to just go a little bit farther, you've even got more options. If you go down towards Oregon or you go up past Seattle, there's more options. So of course, snowshoeing and cross-country skiing and downhill skiing and snowmobiling and all of those things are right at your doorstep in this area too. Like we mentioned earlier, we lived in Texas for a little while and I was surprised how many people make so much effort to go skiing. They go to Colorado to go skiing and here it's a couple hours away or less. And
yeah, you don't need to jump on a plane. You don't need to. No, if you want to, go for it. There's nothing wrong with that. However, if you want easy access to an outdoor lifestyle, man, howdy, this is made easy for you, that's for sure.
I know one of the things that people think about when they think about outdoor recreation is golfing. We're not golfers.
Not golfers.
Unfortunately, but we do know that there are so many golf courses around. In fact, there are so many golf courses in the area. In Pierce County, which is the Tacoma area, you've got 25 golf courses. And in Thurston County, which is the Olympia area, you've got 10 golf courses. So if golfing is your idea of outdoor recreation,
35 options. 35 options. If you stumped in, yeah, I mean, you don't have to go to the same place twice. I mean, depending on how often you golf, maybe, but probably only once a year.
That's right.
Not bad.
So when you think about outdoor recreation, you're probably thinking, but you know, I need to know about the climate because the climate's gonna basically tell me how much I can get outside. And surprisingly, the number 3 reason why people love living here is because the climate does work for year-round activity.
Gonna give you a little shocker insight tip. We are filming today and it is mid-January. So yeah, it's a little cold outside. You can tell we're wearing hats, and that's pretty normal. We're in the appropriate attire. Doesn't have to be a rainy day. And on a day like this, people are out. Like, we're here midday. People should be working. They're not working. They're taking the day off. They're walking around in the sunshine. They're enjoying this because it really is adaptable. You can get comfortable in this and live and enjoy the outdoor beauty all year long.
And in fact, we have a lot of clients that move here from the hotter states.
Yeah.
A lot of times people go down to Nevada or to even California or Texas and some areas in the South, and they want to get into an environment that's not just hot all the time, that feels comfortable and that has the 4 seasons. We have 4 amazing seasons.
The 4 seasons to us is not like massive amounts of snow in the winter. Now, you can get that further up and into the mountains in the area. However, if you're on Puget Sound like we are, this is an area that you're going to consider. What you're going to get is a few times a year, potentially only once. In some years, it's not there at all. Snow days, which are delightful. So you're going to get 8 to 12 inches of snow. It's going to come in one night. It's going to last for about 2 to 3 days and go away for the most part. But everybody takes it off. We're all playing in the snow. We're sledding. We're doing all the fun stuff. That is actually so real and kind of how it plays out in our area.
Yeah, so that's winter, but the fall here is gorgeous.
Yeah.
There are so many, not just evergreen trees here, what you would expect in Washington, but so many deciduous trees that it's just beautiful in the fall. And it doesn't rain as much in the fall as it does in the spring. So you're really out. It's like an extended summer, really.
It is. You're going to be into October before you start to transition into the rainy season. And it is a long, gorgeous, beautiful fall that is enjoyed by everybody. Yeah, just being out and about and enjoying the weather in the fall, it's amazing.
Yeah, of course, nobody can forget about summer in the Pacific Northwest because summer is perfect. It is mostly upper 70s to lower 80s. There's not a ton of humidity. It's just comfortable and it's green all the way through the summer because we stocked up on all that rain and it's made everything so green. So it's not like some places where it gets really dry and brown and ugly in the summer. It's still gorgeous and green all summer and you just want to be outside all the time. So if you do have to work indoors, that could be a problem.
Good problem. And I will truly say this, the summers are so amazing that it's worth every dark day of winter.
Yeah.
100%. It is worth the trade-off because I'm not sure if there's anything that I've experienced that is as beautiful as the Northwest in the summer. It's amazing.
Yeah. And the springs, of course, are great. It's rainy, but it's beautiful.
And you do get some sunshine days and a couple weeks in there that are going to be sunny for sure.
Yeah, you actually get some little short jaunts of 70-degree weather usually in the spring, too.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, it's going to be summer. It's not, it's spring, and we get those. But
just toying with your emotions.
Exactly. But you'll get to it. Summer will get there. And speaking of the dark days of winter.
And the dark days are real.
Yeah, the dark days are real. It does, because we are so far north, it does get dark here. In the winter, the very shortest day, it's about 4:30. So it's short.
It's short because the sun gets light. We're around 8. So not a long day on those days. However, you get through it, lasts a couple months, and then it's over. And there's also part of that season is to just kind of get indoors. It's a great time if planning, if you're a business owner, kind of get away into a conference room, do some planning around a fire. It's amazing. Yeah, amazing.
Cozy during those days.
Cozy.
Very cozy. And it's very nice during the winter season for holidays because it's very holiday feeling and very cozy. And of course, people drink a lot of coffee here, and that is a primary activity that you will want to do on those cold and dark days.
We talked a bit about the rain, but I gotta let you know, it's drizzly. We don't get tons of downpours. Occasionally we'll get some. They're more in this form of a storm, so it'll kind of be windy and stormy, which I think is pretty fun. And as you can hear in my voice and comments, I'm completely biased. So I want you to know, I think all this stuff is delightful, a little bit of magic in it. It's really fun. So you'll enjoy it if you're okay with all of that.
Yep.
So we would be remiss if we didn't talk about the rain because it's real.
It's real.
It's real. And what you expect when we talk about rain, because if you're from a different part of the country, you might thinking monsoons and 10 inches of rain in 12 hours that is just flooding. That's not how it really works here. We do get some storms, but it's going to be wind and it's going to be drizzly. It'll rain hard, but it's nothing like other regions of the United States.
Yeah, in fact, the weathermen have quite the vocabulary to describe rain here. They've got sprinkle and drizzle and downpour, and I don't even know. Like, if I were to watch the news for a whole week and write down every word they have for rain, it probably would amount to about 10 words. So
At least.
most of the time, it's
Drizzle.
more so sprinkle drizzle.
Sprinkle drizzle. That's a good way to say it. It's like when you want to like add salt to your eggs, but not too much. That's what you're thinking of. Now, the nice thing about the outdoors and the climate is we all get to experience them. However, you do get to experience them differently if that's what you would choose to do, because each part of South Puget Sound has a little bit different type of lifestyle that kind of goes along with it. We're going to talk about those just for a few minutes.
Okay, so we've got, as you look on the map, the dominant areas in this South Puget Sound area are going to be Tacoma and Olympia. The Kitsap Peninsula, a little bit further out, and Gig Harbor is another area that we're going to talk about. So first of all, let's talk about Gig Harbor.
Now, Gig Harbor is an area I absolutely love. Have thought in my mind multiple times that's exactly where I want to retire. I'm not sure if that's going to happen, but it's so idyllic. It's a little more upscale. It's a little bit more expensive. You kind of pay for some extra quiet, so to speak. It just is so charming to me.
Yeah.
It is, in my mind, quintessential coastal town that grew into this little charming cottage town, so to speak. It's amazing.
And if you want to know more about Gig Harbor or any of the areas that we're mentioning, we have plenty of videos on those.
Yeah.
So get some more information on those if what we're saying sounds like your ideal lifestyle. But then you've got Tacoma, and Tacoma has a lot to offer because it's a big city. It's the biggest city in our region.
Yep.
So if you want to have that urban feel where you live in a condo downtown, you have walkability to all the restaurants, coffee shops, the museums, and to the waterfront and all that, Tacoma is awesome for that. It's really perfect.
We spent multiple days just in downtown area of Tacoma, at the museums, at the glassworks. It's really beautiful, and it's a fun way to spend the day for sure if you want to go into it, but it's a great place to live. Tacoma has reinvented itself, and it is really, I think, a fantastic place for people to move. It's no wonder why a lot of people are moving there.
So of course, we've got Olympia, which is where we live. This beautiful city. We absolutely love it. It's got a really chill vibe.
Yeah.
It's actually what we would call granola. It's very earthy. It's very, let's do good things for people around us. Let's do good things to it, or that kind of vibe.
Yeah, that's why it's hard for us to get away from it. Like, why would I ever move away from this? It really is hard because I love the lifestyle, like the laid back a little bit. I like the beauty. I like the trees. I like everything about it. It's been a wonderful experience. So if that's important to you, it's low key, it's creative, it's a little granola. If you think about hugging a tree, you could do it. The tree's gonna like it. I'm gonna maybe hug it with you. It's hard to say. It really is hard to say.
If you feel like that's the place for you, then Olympia is where you want to be. Now, outside of that area, you've got like the Kitsap Peninsula and over towards the ocean, and that's just going to be more rural, definitely more spread out feel. You're going to be closer to a lot of rivers if you're out there on the Kitsap Peninsula. You're going to be closer to the ocean. So that also offers another different feel. So if you're thinking, hey, I would love to move to Washington, but I just don't know if there's a place for me, there's a place for us here in the South Puget Sound area, because there's a place for everybody. There's a different feel in all these different areas that we've mentioned.
Yeah, and feel free to reach out because we do service all of those areas. And if you want some more information on that, for sure, write a question in below and we will let you know. So you're thinking to listen to that. Yeah, that possibly is a place for me because you fit one of those vibes. The other thing that you're going to enjoy is its convenient location because we are perfectly located between Portland and Seattle.
So we've got not only the perfect vibes of somewhere where you can live, but also if you really feel like you'd like to get to a bigger city, then you are just over an hour to Seattle and just around 2 hours to Portland, and you can get all the big city feel that you want, all the while living somewhere that's more affordable and also has a little bit of a different vibe than the big cities.
Yeah. One of the other perfectly located elements is the airport. So we're about an hour in Olympia away from the airport, which is not bad. Just depending on traffic, we schedule things a little bit. Our flights around traffic time, so kind of midday, so miss morning rush or the end of day commute. However, if you're in Tacoma, that's like 20, 30 minutes, depending on what part. Gig Harbor, maybe 40 to 45 minutes, depending on what part. So it really is conveniently located to travel. If that's something that's important to you, you've got to get the kids or other family members. It is not bad at all. And of course, SeaTac's an international airport. You can kind of go wherever you want.
Yep, and some people actually prefer to go down to Portland just because they want to go that direction. So you're perfectly placed between two airports. And then besides that, you are perfectly placed to all that recreational activity that we already talked about. For Mount Rainier, which is just about an hour away, to the Olympic Peninsula, which is about an hour away, to all the other mountains that are accessible, and the rivers and everything that we talked about is really, really close. I mean, we're looking like it's perfect here. We know it's not perfect, but it really is an ideal place to live for.
Has a lot going on. One of the things I encourage you, there's always the big ones, Mount Rainier, Mount St. Helens, all of that. But in the Hoh National Rainforest is something you must see. I don't even care if you don't move here. You just got to go see it. It's the only non-tropical rainforest in the world. It is so mossy, so overgrown, so lush and thick. It feels enchanted. I'm not sure if I've ever seen Bigfoot there, but it is quite possible.
Maybe some fairies.
Fairies, pixie dust, all of those type of things may have happened. Bigfoot and I did do a little fishing together. I'm just saying, he is not playing hide and seek. He just doesn't like people. And I respect that. I respect that. Yeah, that didn't happen. I mean,
yes, so as you can see, conveniently located to so many things, including Bigfoot.
And the last, but not least reason why you're gonna love living here and why people love living here is you can find a home that you love in any price range.
Yeah, you can.
Which is shocking, right? So if you're thinking to yourself, I wanna live in $1 million plus home on the water, great, we have options for you. If you wanna live outside of town on a small piece of property away from everybody, great, we've got an option for you for that as well. It truly does depend on what you're looking for and the potential budget you have to work with.
Exactly. So we have people contact us all the time that have very large budgets, and we have people contact us that have very small budgets, and we're able to find them a place to live in the area because there are so many great options. In Thurston County, which is the Olympia area, the average price point is $532,000, and that doesn't really communicate everything because obviously you can get houses lower than that, and of course you can get houses more expensive than that. In Pierce County, the average is just a little bit more than that at $568,000. But like Joe said, if you're looking for $1 million property, multi-million-dollar property, it's here, and they are stunning. And the great thing about it is it's so much more affordable than Seattle. If we compared any property in any of the South Puget Sound areas to Seattle properties, you're going to be by far way below what you would be.
Yeah, and on average, you're going to be about 40% lower than you are in Seattle's market, which is so nice because it is not a matter of do you have more beauty, do you have more access to things. So with being able to find that home that's 40% cheaper than the Seattle surrounding areas, it's amazing because you don't have to live in Seattle to enjoy it. We go up there, spend a day, go to the Mariners game, go to a football game, go to museums downtown, whatever it might be, we're in the mood for that day, be able to experience that, but come back to such a wonderful area to live in that's so much more affordable in all parts of life, not just the housing market.
Yeah, and stylistically, you're going to be able to find any type of house here. In fact, once in a while, we run into things that you wouldn't expect, like a mission-style house.
Yeah.
But you also can get mid-century homes. You can get houses that look all very similar because they're in HOA-style neighborhood. You're going to get Northwest modern-looking houses. You're going to get
equestrian property. You have horses or want to have a little farm. Those are options as well. Matter of fact, I was yesterday with a client taking a look at a home on 5 acres that put chickens on, little goats, whatever you might want to do. Hey, whatever your lifestyle you're wanting to live, the Northwest is both accepting of it, but there's a place for you for sure.
So we have just given you the 6 reasons why people absolutely love living here, which are the same reasons why we think this area is completely underrated.
Yeah.
If you're thinking about moving to the West Coast, and particularly the Pacific Northwest, then the South Puget Sound area may just be the right area for you. You may have questions after all of this, and so feel free to just go ahead and shoot us a question over with the link below, or you can text us or call us directly. We are here to help you in your journey to finding the best new home for you and your family. And of course, if this video has been helpful to you, just keep watching. Here comes the next video.